And welcome back this morning. Okay, Kim and I are going to do our best to make this not a sad interview, but a very happy interview. You know, Kim has been with us in the past. She was up here with hospice, not hospice here that we know in Limestone County. It was another hospice group. But tell us briefly, Kim, if you can, your daughter, was she born with a rare disease?
She was. She was born with a rare syndrome called Kane syndrome. It's a disorder. It's a recessive gene that you can carry, and you don't know that you're carriers until you have a child with it. It's very, very rare.
Okay.
Only a couple of hundred known cases in the entire world.
Wow.
And so, you know, whenever you find a child that's diagnosed with it, it's very interesting because they are so difficult to diagnose.
Now, I have a dear friend that has a child with Down syndrome, and when she found out, there wasn't a lot of information out there. I can imagine when you found out, there was a whole lot less information out there.
There wasn't at the time. At the time,
Okay.
my daughter passed away 5 years ago, but
How old was she?
She was 3.5 years old, and children with the type that she had it's a very weird sounding name called Kane syndrome, but the type that she had, they generally pass away before they're 7, and so you got to put a lot of love into those years. But there wasn't a lot of information out there, and so we just kind of had to rely on the support of our community
to get through it.
Right.
Well, you know, we have a photo. Now, you're up here today. We're talking about a hope for Julia. Now, your daughter passed away 5 years ago, but you still have a passion of getting this awareness out there. We have a photo of Julia, who is in a crib. Now, tell us a little bit about Julia's story.
Julia is a little girl who is actually almost 3 years old, and you cannot tell it by that photo. She is living in an orphanage in Eastern Europe, and the conditions that I've learned about her are heartbreaking to me because I've had a child with the same syndrome. Julia has Kane syndrome as well, and she basically has never known life outside of that crib.
Now, in Europe, children with special needs, they're just going to basically lie them in a crib like that, feed them when they have to, and there's no love or hugs and playtime, any of that.
Yeah.
And that's something you want to change.
Right. And the children that, as more has come to light, that I've learned about this child through an organization called Reese's Rainbow, which is an adoption ministry.
Okay.
I have learned more about kind of a little bit what's going on with her specifically.
And it is heartbreaking to hear the conditions and just first of all, the life expectancy. She might have so much longer to live and just needs so much love. Your big thing is all children need to have someone to hold them. We have a picture of your daughter, Emma, and she had the same disease, and she wasn't just but kept in a crib. She was able to love everybody, and you said that, and I read your blog, it said that she wasn't going to be able to communicate with you, but she learned some sign, she understood sign language.
Oh yeah, she did. She had a spunky little personality.
Yeah, she would raise her hands when she wanted to be held.
She did. She was much more capable of what people thought she was, and that's the thing with the syndrome is given, you know, the proper care, medical attention, and love, they flourish.
They do.
And there's Julia, you know, needing a home and just knowing what she's capable of. God has just put me on a mission to
And you're
help her.
doing it, and you're doing it. And you know what? And should Julia find the adopted parents, hopefully soon, there are so many other children that you've been able to, by doing this research, find out. What is the process to adopting a special needs child in another country like that?
It's the process in different countries. It's different. In the particular country that she's in, it's fairly quick, 7 to 8 months.
That is quick.
It is, but it's expensive.
Lucky for them, but it is expensive. Now, you've been trying to raise some money for Julia.
I've tried to raise a little money, but I have to tell you that another mom who knew Julia personally, adopted children from the same orphanage in the same room as her, and had a window into what was kind of going on over there. She started writing about her after I did. She was just compelled to write as well, and she, in less than 6 days, has raised over $20,000.
Great.
To whoever Julia comes home to.
How wonderful.
And it's just been amazing to
Did you ever
watch the
think
story.
that you would be able to do this?
To talk about...
To be able to, one, talk about it, and two, be able to, you're obviously getting a lot of notice with your blog and a lot of attention and just bringing so much awareness to everyone.
Well, I think Emma, my daughter, she taught us to give back to others, and she never cared about materialistic things, or she could have cared less how many toys she had. She just wanted to be held and be loved,
Yeah.
and that's taught us to give back to others. And after she passed away, we did form an organization, and we do help children locally through our organization as well. So,
Great.
you know, it just God has really burdened my heart for Julia and helping her find a family, and just spreading awareness of children that are, you know, needing to be adopted and have special needs, because in other countries there is a stigma.
They just pretty much just put them aside and that's it.
Well, a lot
Yeah.
of times they are voluntarily given up for adoption because of the stigma surrounding special needs.
All right. Well, Kim,
So-
thank you so much for being
Thank
with us
you.
this morning. I do want to, we've had her website up on the blog there at the bottom of the screen, and we will definitely have this interview on our website, jamiecooper.com, so you'll be able to get that information and go visit her blog. And it's very interesting, and you've got some great photos of Miss Emma on there,
Right,
too.
and the story's going to be great.
It is,
gonna be
and I'm
great.
looking forward to hopefully a part 2 to this.
There might be. There might be.
All right, we're just going to
Thank
tease you
you.
with that. Well, thank you so much for being with us this
Thank
morning.
you.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we return, Mr. Ronnie Marks, it's time to talk about what's going on in the city. We'll be right back.